Yeah. Do I hit the button?
Yeah, do it.
What do I do? I hit it?
Press the gosh damn button.
April Fools, motherfuckers! You thought there was nothing going on.
Just our voices.
Totally
that's,
not.
That's the
Yeah.
holy breakdown.
Yep. Well, that's all we got for the show. All right, let's take it out. That's enough fucking
Right,
man. What's going on? What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another round of bracket bitches. I got to say round because, dude, we're in the Final Four, bro.
Final Four!
Final Four for the men's. We're about to find out who's going to win between LSU and Iowa on the women's side.
We are tied at 45.
Woo-hoo, baby.
Jordan's other
it's
number.
Heating up. But what's up? For those that are you just joining us, sorry, it's April 1st. We just want to fuck with you guys a little bit because that's what we do here at the Ruckus. My name is Tvshka. This is my boy, Josh. Josh, man, what is going on in your world? How you doing?
Well, another bracket tournament, another bracket loss. Technicalities, bad timing, and your point, and the first team All-American point guard going down in the first half against Duke. Yeah. So I think Duke, if they were respectable, should have vacated the win. Honestly, if they really were the Duke men and women of the world that say you're supposed to put yourself at a higher pedestal and everything like that, and there's a pedigree to it. Your pedigree is you should have vacated the win and let Houston go on.
I like it. But what if they're the Theo James Duke from The Gentleman on Netflix? By the way, you got to watch that if you haven't. That shit is so good.
I've started watching it.
Oh, dude, so good. So good. But anyways, back to basketball. Duke, just be gentlemanly. You know what I mean? Don't gun run or sell illicit drugs. Just vacate your seat. I know Jason, our local representative for the North Carolina Tar Heels, would agree that Duke should quit at any time. But they didn't, man. That hurt me too. Them knocking out Houston. Houston going at least another round or two. But yeah, man. I mean, off the top, not a whole lot of major upsets. The big one is really just the whole University of North Carolina State, right? Like, what the fuck is in the water? It's definitely not what's in Flint, Michigan. But what is in the water there, dude? Because their men's and women's are really mucking things up for me right now. They're really, they may be losing me some money. And Daddy's got to pay rent. So, fuck off, Wolfpack.
Yeah. Well, the NC State coach for the women's side was the former coach for Mississippi State when they had their finals run as well. They were the one that knocked off UConn and stuff like that. Yeah, they lost to South Carolina in the final. But they kind of he pushed them to coach them to that, and now we'll realize that they were in some weird circumstances. But the women for NC State moved on, and then the men basically had win or go home since the start of the ACC tournament. They basically were like they lost 14 games. They were 17-14 going into the ACC tournament. Didn't get a bye. There was actually you get a double bye. So there was like 7 teams ahead of them. So they finished like 8th, 9th, maybe 10th or something in the ACC. We're down at half to a Louisville team who was arguably the worst Power 5 basketball team. They're down at half by them in the first game. Then they win. Then there was if it wasn't for an 84% free throw shooter for Virginia missing, and then the guy put up a prayer, which we'll show that later. But they're just on an improbable run. And this happens every March. And DJ Burns is a legend now. He is a legend. I don't know what's more smooth, James Bond or DJ Burns' spin move. I've yet to figure that out. But it has been fun for that. At least NC State has made it fun. But overall, the tournament's been okay. Like, especially when UConn looks inevitable at this point, and Purdue and Purdue is good, but they run a kind of boring style. Throw it to Eddie. Eddie gets fouled, goes to line, shoots free, goes down, shoots free throws. I'm Eddie. I am bigger than you. Like, he doesn't sound like that, but that's just kind of, every type. Those type.
I feel like in my head canon, he sounds like that too.
Yeah, every big man that's kind of like that. That's a slaw. Doesn't just is not very. Fundamentally he is sound and everything, but the way he plays is very much like, I get the ball, I shoot the ball, I shoot free throws, and then I get the ball, then I rebound the ball. Like, you just have that, like, that's what he sounds like when he talks. Like, very just straightforward, to the point, not very articulate, but I'm pretty sure he is. But and then Alabama, apparently Nate Oates had an analytic guy or an analytic team go with them through March during this run that basically would help break down film, because you have such a short turnaround. So you really can't really study, each team and stuff like that in between games. So his forward thinking there worked out for them in the long run. Of course, they beat a Clemson team that wasn't supposed to be there anyway, but still, it was still a pretty good game there. And then UConn is ridiculous. They've won every game. I mean, they literally went on a 30-0 run in the second half against Illinois. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you know what else is ridiculous in other sports news? The UFL.
Yeah,
bro. Like, the first weekend, I'm excited, man.
Yeah, they look. I mean, it's fun football,
dude. Football's back. You talk about legendary. That made me think of Jake Bates, the kicker who scored. Well, I mean, he made 2 64-yard field goals back to back, just because he got ice on the first one. And then also the talking about big men, the center, Alex Millette, bro, running free and catching the fake kick. I think it was just a fake punt, or was it a fake field goal?
It's fake field goal, I believe.
Yeah, fake field goal.
Nothing better but a big man touchdown.
Oh my God, yeah. He's like, this is for the fat guys. I was like, I'm here for it, man. I love it. But great weekend for sports. For some people, because unfortunately, some people did get sent home, like Clemson. UConn topping Illinois, 77-52 there in the East. I mean, UConn just doing it again, man. Right? I mean, kind of enough said there. I mean, we can hit on that, but and then Alabama. I mean, to me, I think upsetting Clemson. I kind of had them Clemson going. Alabama known for their football, but hey, I guess whenever Nick Saban gets out of your building, maybe the other athletic director puts a little bit more attention to other areas that work. And anyways, they win 89-82 in a close match. And then, like you talked about, because Houston lost to Duke, but then Duke losing to NC State, absolutely insane. 11 seed in the Final Four, not the first time, but it definitely feels like a rarity at this point. With who they've actually toppled, kind of going against them. I think Oakland is really the unsung hero for NC State right now. Because I don't think they would have got past Kentucky that early, but yeah, like I said, you never know. But NC State beating Duke 64-76, and then Purdue topping Tennessee 72-66. So yeah, I mean, I know we've kind of grazed upon some of that, but I guess you want to take a game by game, or how do you want to run this show, man?
So yeah, I mean, we could take it game by game, but basically, what we saw was Alabama making me eat my words. They came into they really didn't do crap. They couldn't stop anybody. They couldn't do anything wrong, I think. And I thought Nate Oates was kind of he ran kind of a gimmick style of offense where you only take layups or threes. There was no mid range. That's how they practice. So there was kind of a thing was when it came to March, they made a Sweet 16 run, but that was about as far as they got, and he had much better teams than he fielded this year. But all that matters is winning. As they say, it matters to win 4 games. You just have to win 4 games, 4 games in a row. You're in the Final Four. It seems simple. Obviously, it's a lot more. It's hard said than being done. But Alabama, once they beat North Carolina, I was like, yeah, they're in the final. They're gonna beat Clemson. Just because Clemson was kind of on the way they were running. And shout out to Brad Burnell. He definitely earned his extension. He was kind of on the hot seat, but he got them, and they were a very disciplined team. I was surprised on the run that they made. I thought had them losing the first round to Mexico, and they won by like 30. But yeah, Sears for Alabama has had an amazing tournament. He probably guess he was the regional MVP for that. Their point guard for Alabama, so that was kind of the test of tape there. But yeah, just shout out to, and that NC and North Carolina pretty much had it, but they just made dumb mistakes down through the end. They played really good defense on RJ Davis. They basically caught a timeout, and it was RJ Davis figure it out, and which sometimes you do, which it sounds dumb when it doesn't work. And it's kind of boring. It's just like, hey, give the ball to your best player, because if he passes it and the guy doesn't make it, you're like, why wasn't our best player taking the last shot? So it's always one of those like double-edged swords type of thing. But I'd rather have the ball in my best player's hands to do something than not. So shout out to Alabama on making the Final Four there. In Purdue, they were kind of like Virginia a few years ago, where they they lost as a number 1 seed to a 16 seed. Came out this year. Are they going to be the next Virginia, where they lose to a 16 seed and then piggyback that on a national championship run? I would think Connecticut might have something to say about it. But at the end of the day, we're going to have the coolest matchup ever of Zach Edey versus DJ Burns. So
I was going to say, man, Zach Edey, I mean, definitely having himself a tournament for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he went off for 40 against, and I think he's going to end up setting the record for the most free throws taken in a season. He's going to be back-to-back National Player of the Year. And it's not like, people get on him for, they always call him for foul. He always gets fouls called on him. Well, I mean, he puts himself in that position. He's strong and he draws fouls. Like every time I watch that game, people are like, oh, it's just dumb. Like, yeah, it's boring. It's kind of boring basketball. No one wants to see someone sit there and shoot 30 free throws. But at the end of the day, that's a good strategy. Yep. So,
I mean, did we not talk about it last week? Yeah. I mean, because to me, like, it is boring if you start out the first quarter like that, but later down the road, those fouls are going to add up, and those players are going to be in foul trouble, which means they're not going to be aggressive whenever they need to be. So whenever you're doing full court press to try to save time and to try to control possessions, then hey, guess what? Motherfuckers are going to be getting sent out left and right because they've been hacking, shacking, 2-3 fouls in the first half, getting themselves in trouble. But I digress. We'll jump to our chat. Greetings all. What's up, Brendan Marr? Good to see you, brother. Jeremy Jeremy Miller. I'm tired, guys. Can't tell. Jay saying, hey, what's up, bud? And he also says, anytime Clemson went on a run, Mark Sears, just kept swooshing threes, baby. Now, were they playing on their regulation court? We'll find out later. But yeah, I want Zach Edey to on the Thunder stuff. Oh my God, bro, we've got to talk about our boys in the Discord, man, because I'm excited. We are definitely going to be in the playoffs. NCAA. Let's get back to that, bud. And I'm glad you mentioned it because I completely was recency biased and jumped over it. So I just went to the Elite Eight. But yeah, you talk about the Sweet 16. UConn topping San Diego State.
By a lot.
Yeah. Probably in the 80s. Sorry, I cropped that off. Illinois topping Iowa State. I mean, was that an upset? Was that a huge upset or not?
No, it wasn't. People were sitting there like I remember the next day, people were like, "Oh, I see Illinois upset Iowa State." I was like, "No, they didn't." Yeah,
I mean the ranking was there, but again, I mean Iowa State. That's where a lot of people like yourself were saying that they were a little bit inflated just because they did upset Houston. Yeah. But then, they kind of continue on, like you said, North Carolina and Alabama, 87-9. That was a barn burner. But then, Clemson topping. I apologize, I can't see the lower one. But then, the other side, you had the Houston and Duke. Then you also had NC State and Marquette, Purdue topping Gonzaga, and Creighton falling short to Tennessee. So that was a Sweet 16, but yeah, man. Yeah. So any other games you want to hit on? Because I know we do have some other statistics to look at.
Yeah. Pull that up real quick.
Yeah. The stats.
The tournament, the bracket.
Oh yeah. I got you, bud. Yeah.
Turn the bracket real quick. I will say that if you look at Duke's run, they had everything handed to them. Like Duke needs it, right? So they go to play Vermont. Then they get James Madison as a 12 seed. So they go from a 13 to a 12, and then they get a Jamal Shed-less Houston, which you take him off of that team, they're maybe a fringe tournament team. Like they're gonna be in the dance, but they're not a number 1 seed. Like literally, you take him off that team with all their injuries that they already had. There was no offense, but they made it close because they're just so good defensively. So Duke had that going. That going for them, and then they get an NC State team who they're supposed to beat anyway. So then they played multiple times, and they destroyed NC State at NC State. Yes, they lost to them, but John Shire, once they came on the second half and Kevin Keats made adjustments, John Shire didn't do anything. They basically just like all right, well, Burns is going to do everything to us, and that's it. Like he didn't have anything to because I mean they really only have like one pure scorer in Horn and Burns, but the other one everybody else. But they're getting hot at the right time. And the only thing I would say is UConn was tied at one point to Illinois, but to 23-23. The next thing you see is the score as Illinois 23, UConn 53. It's ridiculous on how good they are.
Yeah. And they're stacked. I mean, they're deep roster wise. So even their secondary is going to be able to compete with anybody else's, at least so far, anybody else's starting group. It's absurd. It's like the U.S. men's basketball team, against anybody internationally back in like the 90s and even 2000s. Right. It was just unfair. Like your second team, you have to have a first team and a second team, but even your second team coming in is just a freaking baller. And but that's what makes championships is depth in roster. I mean, whether it's a 52-man or plus NFL football team, whether it's a 12-man soccer team, whether it's basketball, whatever, it's that depth and that consistency that you have where you're not dipping off whenever you're switching out, where you don't just have one star player that everything is counting on. And if that person gets injured or if that person just gets fatigued or gets in foul trouble, that you lose all hope. So yeah, that's why I loved UConn going into it. And that's why I'm still sticking with them to win it. I know that's a cliche.
That's the only reason I didn't pick Houston, because I'm like 88% of America is going to pick UConn. So Houston's got the second best fans, and they did until Jamal Shed got hurt, and I was done. That was it. All she wrote. I literally turned it off. I was like, all right, whatever. Like,
you rage quit watching.
I rage quit because I'm like, really. And they still only lost by 3, which was kind of crazy. Scroll all the way down. I want to see I forgot who Clemson beat in the Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. Arizona.
Yeah,
that's right.
There's something about that Arizona coach. He hasn't made Elite 8, and they have better athletes and they were a better roster than Clemson, but he got out coached bad in that game.
Yeah,
they could not play defense. They couldn't make any stops, and they were just forcing stuff up. So
it's probably adjustment. I mean, just getting out schemed or just like you said, out coached. Where
they got out coached. Tommy Lloyd got out coached.
Yeah, where you're just not making the right adjustments, or you're just sticking with the same thing and getting found out and played out. And that was unfortunate. I don't want to look. I don't want to look at that anymore. Like cover that up because that part of the bracket is not too great for me.
Right.
Even though overall I'm still doing good. I know other people are doing well as well. Sorry, bad sentence, but hey, we're live. Suck it.
Right.
Let's go to the chats. Jimmy Miller, dude, we love you, bud. Love how you're active in the chat live and also in the Discord. Might be a little biased because you're an Okie and a Thunder fan. But surprised CBS isn't airing the Final Four unless I'm figuring they didn't last year.
So are you talking about the women's? Because the women's, ESPN always has the rights to women's, and then CBS always has the rights to men. They've had the rights for men since I can rights to men. Yeah, that sounds like something like really, really bad politically. But no, they've always had the rights to the men's tournament. CBS.
Oh man, we always had the rights to men.
Right. Yeah. So that's really bad the way I put it. Phrasing.
Yeah.
And then
as far as the TV
ESPN had the rights
contracts
to
between the
women. Yeah.
companies.
Yeah. Exactly. So
yeah, no, that's a really good question though. Yeah, I mean, if you want to kind of look at his others, I'm going to research that a little bit as far as what the TV contracts look like currently.
And then Filipkowski's soft. He's your typical like Duke white dude that people are going to hate, except for Cooper Flagg next year. People are expecting him to be the second coming of Larry Bird and all this other stuff, because there's really no like really good American white dude in the NBA that can really take over games. I mean, I know Luka and a couple other guys are like really good, but yeah, Filipowski is he is who we thought he is. Now he'll probably still go pro because it's the weakest I've seen, but and you can't, man, he'd probably be fine in the pros, but he is a little soft. I mean, Burns just ate him for lunch. No pun intended for that. Yeah, UConn going on that 30-0 run was ridiculous, especially against a team like Illinois. So, and especially as good as offensively as Illinois is. But I was sitting there watching the game, and I was sitting there watching it with my dad because I was visiting at home this week, and I was sitting there and I was like watching the second half, and I was like, do you realize they don't have to double a single player? They can literally just guard every single player one-on-one. And that's just, and if you can do that and make stops, and Illinois is a very good offensive team. And the fact that UConn could not figure UConn out, just straight up manning them, going man to man. That's why you had that 30-0 run. And then last thing here, it's crazy. UConn and NC State can have both men and women's team in the Final Four. Yep.
I mean, UConn, it feels
UConn
like it's old hand, right? I mean, we saw the run in the late 2000s, early 2010s. But NC State, I mean, I feel like they're kind of the new kid to the dance as far as men's and women's really getting into, possibly getting to the Final Four. Actually, NC State is for sure, and UConn possibly. I like it though. I like it. I'd like to see a little bit of fresh blood there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last time NC State was in the Final Four, they won it in 1983. The Jim Valvano coach team, which he famously has one of the greatest speeches ever given at the ESPYs there with the Jimmy V stuff and don't give up, don't ever give up, stuff like that. And that's arguably the greatest Cinderella run ever, taking that NC State team and winning the whole thing. It's kind of what NC State's doing right now. I mean, Kevin Keatts was literally, if he would have lost to Louisville, that was it. He was probably not going to be retained. And now he was like, oh, do you think this team is going to go after Kevin Keatts? It's like, no, dude just went from being on the hot seat. Same thing with the Clemson coach. They went on being on the hot seat to getting fat extensions. So that's why this tournament's so awesome, because these type of things can happen and change lives.
Well, speaking of fat extensions, the contract, we got it. All right, here we go. I'm not talking about my penis, y'all. That's disgusting. This is a kid's show.
I got to close my blinds, but I'm listening.
Well, I'm going to remove you. But anyways, yeah. So kind of looking at the contract, says the new contract does not include the lucrative Division I men's basketball tournament. Talking about ESPN's contract, because Paramount Global and Warner Discovery paid nearly $900 million per year to broadcast that event on CBS and the Turner cable networks, including True TV and others. Long-term deal that runs to 2032. Right? So, God, $900 million a year. That's insane. But, I mean, they got me watching. So, I know they got plenty of other people watching. The NCAA ESPN contract also expires in 2032 for the women's, which will give the NCAA more flexibility in its next media rights negotiations. That is interesting to me because there's also been other contract extensions. I'm trying to think for what sport now. I can't remember, but I think it was going into 2030s. And it's just like kind of in this time, I don't know, 2032. I mean, are we even going to make it there? I don't know at this rate, but that just seems so far away. And with the way like consumer habits are changing so rapidly as far as streaming and all the different platforms. I mean, luckily CBS and ESPN have a pretty good hold on that as far as capacity and technologically being able to handle that. I mean, Amazon, I think starting off, it was a little bit odd, but I do love how Amazon, you can actually go backwards. So you can watch live or you can go
That
back
all
and start.
22 is awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Yeah. Yeah. The all 22 or the AWS, what is it? Next gen stats.
Yeah.
Watch. Yeah.
Yeah. That all 22 thing live is just awesome.
Yeah.
My nerd brain just exploded.
Exactly. I was going to say, if you were a nerd and you love statistics, bro, watch that. But I guess that's where I kind of want to look at it to be more like short-term contracts where it's 5 years, instead of it being 10-year, because I want to see Amazon get it. I want to see other people. I mean, not that I really truly support, Bezos and everything that he does, but they're creating more of the user experience that I would love to see. And honestly, I've been calling this, even the beginnings before Netflix, but it's just, let me pay to see the video and I choose what I listen to, because I don't give a shit about the commentators who are paid to talk. So that's all they do. I know that's coming from us, but hey, we're doing this voluntarily wise. So, but you know what I mean? It's just like, dude, I want to hear the local broadcast. I want to hear the local radio, or honestly, like I love watching Peyton, like Monday Night Football. I love watching, Peyton and Eli. I'll jump over for a little bit, see what guests they have on. Like, I love that. I love having the option to not listen to Buck.
And it's caught. Thank you, Joe.
Oh my God. Fuck Joe, dude.
I don't know, Jim.
Yeah. Like 300,000 people signed a petition in Kansas City to not have Joe Buck call the 2015 World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are seeing that trend. I think this past year was the first year, just in sports and entertainment, because I'm getting ready to get. That's the kind of like hint of what my second part is. But my first part is that YouTube TV took up the Sunday Ticket from DirecTV, who had it for years, and DirecTV basically, YouTube TV just laid it down and gave a fat wad to get that right.
A fat old Google dick on the table.
And then, of course, people were like, "Why is my YouTube TV going up?" But YouTube TV is it's really good. It's a really good technology.
Okay. I've been kind of on the fringe of that.
Yeah,
especially with the
multi-view that they've created, and now they're getting ready to put that you can choose what games you can put in the multi-view. So that's also a game changer there. So I'm just like, not Sunday Ticket, but like on college game day. For during football season, I mean, that's just, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. And then you have Netflix paying $5 billion to get the something like that. It's like 10 billion. No, I think it's like 10 billion to get the rights to Monday Night Raw. So starting in 2025, Netflix will air Monday Night Raw commercial free, basically, or there is no, there's no there. You can either pay the standard and have basic, commercials or whatnot, or you can, but it won't be, basically PG-ish, because it's Netflix. It's not, there's no FCC or anything like that regulation that they have to do.
If the FCC will let me be.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, no, and I love that, because even though, I mean, Netflix did kind of limit their viewership as far as how many screens you can have at one time, or kind of put a little hold on it. But everybody's got to go up in price a little bit. I mean, the value of the dollar is going down, folks. That's just how shitty economics work. Yeah. But yeah, I dig that though, because I like wrestling, but I don't like it enough to pay for a whole different package. You know what I mean? So for Netflix to pick that up, that's freaking awesome. And let the streaming wars begin, right? Also, Jeremy Miller. I'm curious about the sports app that's gonna, I guess, have ESPN, Fox, NBC in the fall. So like one app, or are we talking about individial?
Nope.
So what the fuck is that? Just one giant sports app?
I forgot what they called it, Jeremy. If you can comment on what that is, because I remember them announcing it, and I totally forgot until he brought it up. But yes, at ESPN, basically all the
expansion of Fubo or something like that, or
something kind of like that. But it's not Sling TV or anything like that. It's some brand new thing. But basically, ESPN, Fox, and NBC kind of all got together and was like, we have a lot of sports. Let's do one app. And they were like, all right. They had a meeting of the Dons, basically. Oh, they don't have a name yet. Okay. But yeah, they did that. I think they mentioned that. Maybe at the beginning of the year.
Okay. Yeah. Let me look at this real quick. But yeah, the platform will include games from the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, WNBA, NASCAR, and college sports, as well as golf, tennis, FIFA World Cup. You can see it there on the screen. ESPN's multiple, all the Foxes, Big Ten Network. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, the launch of this new streaming sports service is a significant moment for Disney and ESPN, a major win for sports fans, and an important step forward for the media business. Walt Disney CEO Bob Iger. Interesting. Yeah. But is it a win for the other people, or is it NBC and them just kind of riding the coattails because they're getting left in the dust as far as like the streaming? Because Peacock ain't it.
That's why Netflix got Raw. It's because they had to get in the live streaming business. They have
in sports.
In sports. Yeah. So they have to get into that, or adapt or die, and that's where Netflix keeps losing viewers and stuff like that. Like they're doing the Tyson Jake Paul stuff. Like they're dipping their toe in it, and once
Jeremy, the numbers are gonna be huge. Only because everybody wants to see Jake Paul get knocked the fuck out by Mike Tyson.
Everyone wants to see Jake Paul get knocked out, but that's what Jake Paul knows. That's why Jake Paul's good, unfortunately a decent businessman, because everyone loves it when he plays the villain of just the preppy, douchebag that people want to see.
He's the white privileged YouTube influencer, right? Of the younger brother of the person who did it before him. You know what I mean? So, and look, I don't know Jake personally. I really don't follow him at all. But it's like that's the initial, rapping that people look at. And when they see that and they see Mike Tyson, who is still fucking has it. Right? I mean, it's not like he's going against Nate Robinson anymore. No. He's not going against people that aren't really in the boxing realm. He's going against the Mike Tyson. And look, I'm not going to say it's going to be a fixed fight. But I think it's along the lines of wrestling where they're going to have a little bit of a dance and number because that's part of the story. And honestly, I'm here for it, dude. I mean, I want to see him, throw in some haymakers and just work it and then just look up and Mike Tyson's just like, flexes at him and he falls back in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see him, we want to see that story progress. We don't want to see Mike Tyson just walk out first punch, knock him out. It's like, okay, like that's not as fun. But I think it's going to go 5th round, and then Tyson's definitely going to knock him out.
There's so many people that was like, I'm not going to pay to see it. And they're like, it's on Netflix. I guess I'll watch it. That's why it's going to do great.
Exactly. So I know we're going to go away from NCAA, and I apologize, folks, but we got a lot of sports content coming up, man. I love it. It was bracket bitches, but we're focused on NCAA, but also we're going to be hitting up the NBA here pretty soon, baby. We got some more soccer tournaments coming up. We've got,
we have right the Masters this weekend. That's not a bracket bitches thing, but I'm just going to point that out.
Hey, I'm here for it as well, man. So we got so many sports coming up. It's going to be a great summer of that. And then it's going to roll right into the fall when we get back to the NFL. And the fantasy fuck around is going to be back, right? Yeah. Anyways, Peacock gets the WWE PLEs. I'll likely be done with it. Okay. What's the PLEs for?
So that's basically it's their pay-per-views. It's
okay.
So Peacock. So there's no pay-per-view anymore. It's actually what this is what he meant. If Netflix gets all that stuff, so it's like a paid live event. Is basically what the PLE is. It's their pay-per-view, but because it always airs on Peacock live. So if you have a Peacock subscription, you get to watch every single WWE pay-per-view live. You don't have to keep paying every single, separately for every single one that they do. So it saves you money in the long run. It's like $11.99 a month for Peacock's like best service without commercials and all that stuff. So whereas like it used to be like back in the day, you'd pay like $50 a pop sometimes for just a pay-per-view for a wrestling event. So it's saving you a little bit of money there. Especially when WWE does like a pay-per-view basically every month. So on top of their other catalogs and stuff like that. So I understand where Jeremy's coming from because, Peacock's fine. It's nothing, but I still watch a bunch of content on there. And it's always nice to when the new movies come out and they're just like, it's on this thing, this thing, and this thing, and this thing. So it's nice on there, but that's what they are. So WrestleMania will be on Peacock.
There we go. Yeah. So what you're saying is one side is a little bit better or bigger than the other?
Yeah, I saw what you did there.
Yeah, baby. We've got to talk about this because right now we're also looking at the game. My girl Angel Reese getting at it. Come on, girl. But they're down. LSU is down 52-63 to Iowa. Oh no.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Love it. Man, Tigers. Let's go. Tiger blood, baby. But no, like Josh, what the fuck are we looking at, bro? What
4 games. It took
dude?
them by the 4th game that they decided this. Okay, your looks do not deceive you. The left court, that 3-point line is closer than the other 3-point line. This is in Portland, and they finally noticed it at the elite, or like maybe the Sweet 16 game. I forget which one it was. Yeah, the Sweet 16 game against for NC State and I think Notre Dame. And they were like, do you still want to play it? And both coaches were like, yeah, because we're going to play 2 halves. But thankfully, it did not go into overtime because that would have been a thing.
That would have been a hell of a tip-off.
NCAA makes $1 billion every year off of these 2 tournaments. And the fact that you F this up so bad and no one noticed it. It took some dude in the stands to be like, hey, man, have you noticed it's kind of weird looking?
Yeah. I might be a little drunk, but that dick looks bigger than the other one.
Right. I mean, it's just
come on, guys. Like, the one on the right is a professional. And
the one on the right is I think the one on the right is the men's. The one on the left is the female 3-point line.
I know. The joke I was saying is like, professional sex worker.
Hey, there was me explaining Tvshka's joke. I did my one. I got my quota.
Good job. Way to do it, man. Way to ruin it.
Yeah.
It's so much better when it's explained. Yeah. Whoever messed that up was trying to rig their bracket. Nice.
Yeah.
Trying to rig the bracket or their pool.
There was a $500,000 put on NC State. That's weird.
Yeah.
Just in that region alone.
I mean, but for the amount of people that have seen that. I mean, for one, you had the person designing it. And when you look at, like, it took me a little bit to really figure it out. Like, I knew you were telling me what was going on. And I'm like, okay, like the rims, and they're right with the line. They got the same distance between the center logo and the 3-point line. But then, yeah, it's just, you look at it and it's like, yeah, that's just a little bit bigger, little bit bigger.
And it's the fact that the colors outside the paint just make it so much more egregious. Like, you can really tell the difference.
Not really though, because the black kind of conceals it a little bit on the right side. I mean, to me, it's not the outside color that makes it obvious. It's just that comparison between the two. It's like, you can just kind of see, like, okay, it's like a foot or so, longer, which is the story of my life, right? That's why I lose games. I shoot my shots. I just come up short. Never mind. No, but dude, that is absolutely insane.
Yep.
And it's crazy to think about how that affected the bracket, right? And I apologize. I should have just made this smaller to fit. I made it so we could read the Elite Eight a little bit better. But anyways, yeah, right now, though, we do have South Carolina, the Final Four, baby. Who would have thought?
They're not as dominant as Connecticut, but they're right there. And I'm talking the men, UConn men, not the UConn women.
South Carolina topping Oregon State. And then Texas getting knocked off by NC State. So NC State getting their women's in the Final Four as well. Yeah. So congratulations to them. That's got to be freaking awesome.
Good job, the northern side.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be so cool for the whole university. You know what I mean? Like, they've got to be losing their absolute shit. Right now we got Iowa and LSU playing. Iowa's come on, girl. Iowa 65 to 54. Oh my God! 2 minutes left in the third quarter, so we still got a full quarter after.
Still got time. Still got 10 minutes.
Girls. Let's do it.
Almost got 13 minutes left, basically.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have Southern California, USC. I don't know why they put it out like that. It looks weird. going against UConn here after a little bit. But yeah, I mean, as far as for the women's, I apologize, I cut off the Sweet 16, so I'll pull this down and bring up the other one here in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anything kind of catching you off guard other than the courts being so mismatched? I can't get over it, dude. That's so fucking nuts.
The other
That's
two
so
controversies that I
So
heard,
nuts.
not as crazy as this, but the other two things that we heard was there was a referee in one of the women's games, and they later found out that they were that their alma mater, they were reffing their alma mater's game. They're like, well, that one might have some bias. So they messed up on that. And then the men were complaining that the balls were overinflated. There's no other way to phrase that. But yes, their balls were too big. That's why that's why they were missing so many 3-pointers compared to what they used to. But I didn't notice anything really in that.
Yep. I mean, I know whenever I miss threes, I yell, "Is that goal regulation size or what?"
Mm-hmm.
Especially the fucking double rims, dude. That's such bullshit.
Yeah. So,
why do those still exist in the world?
Because the rims give no give, dude.
Oh my god, it's just like pop, 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 spit it out. It's like fuck, dude. Any other rim, like that would have been such a good rim job at any other place. But the double rim, man, the double gets me. Anyways, I didn't have a better innuendo for it.
I was liking I like the effort. I like.
I was trying to get there. I was trying to be as inappropriate as I could be, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy Tvshka is out here trying. We're trying out here in the streets. Well, yeah. Now let me go ahead and pull up the bracket. But yeah, any other surprises, upsets, any complaints?
I mean, other than the fact that Stanford didn't make it, because I was really hoping Stanford would make it with their player. But Paige Bucher, she's really good. So that's why I still have UConn. But Southern Cal is playing really well. But I still think, at the end of the day, Paige Bucher is Paige Bucher. Some argue that she is the best player in female college basketball. But I mean, Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark for a reason. Shout out to Ice Cube for offering her $5 million to play a few games.
I was just gonna say, if Buford's that good, why should not get a $5 million offer?
Because Caitlin Clark is marketing, basically. And Paige Bucher tore ACL for one season, so she unfortunately she lost some time. Do I think she is the greatest female basketball player? I don't know. Maya Moore is still the most pure basketball player I've seen as far as the female side of it. But yeah, I mean, Angel Reese is really good. Haley Van Lith is really good. Paige Bucher is really good. I keep forgetting the Stanford. Can someone help me out? The Stanford center, who is her dad is I
think it's a Fir Tree.
I think Dale Curry is her god.
Oh, Dale Curry? Oh, dude, fucking, that's my guy.
Dale Curry is her godfather, I believe.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull it from that. Good God, dude. But
Stanford, female center
and sons.
So, I forgot her name. Shopping center. Oh, all right.
Oh shit, I'm sharing. Hey guys, check it out. Check it out. We're doing this live.
Yeah, doing it live.
Yeah, when you're like, what the hell's he typing in? It's this dumb shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, next.
Right. But yeah. So she's really good there. And yeah, I mean, well, they gotta create some stuff. So. But no, I mean, this was the matchup that's going on right now. Thank you all for tuning us. I hope you have 2 screens going on to watch this game that's living up to the hype, because this is arguably I am more interested to see the ratings for this game with LSU and Iowa. I am really interested to see.
So joining in the chats. You're not wrong. I mean, I mean, Reese is like definitely the best personality the women's have had in a long time. But Caitlin Clark though, she's freaking good, and it's pissed me off right now. Okay, what is going on? Oh, she's saying a lot of stuff now. Also, I hate that Reese is constantly asked if she hates. Yeah, right. They got to create a villain. I mean, why not a minority, right? They can't get over a woman being.
It's hard. It's not hard to create a villain when your coach just sucks.
Ooh, allegedly. Or when Clark screamed "fuck" and people were upset. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're not
well,
wrong.
I mean, people both stormed the court in the female side, and Caitlin Clark, got hurt, and then on the men's side, Philip Bukowski, you thought, tore everything in his knee, and then did a windmill dunk 3 days later. So,
That's what I believe
yeah,
too, Jeremy Miller.
much.
Yep.
Yep.
Create division, because why
Mhm.
should we support women of all colors?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
Mulkey. It's just Mulkey. Mulkey makes it very. Jeremy Miller just said Mulkey is the only real villain, and I don't mind LSU otherwise. Yeah, I mean, they're a really good team, but Mulkey is so much now that Washington Post article that came out was a big nothing burger. Really, at the end of the day, it's just like, oh yeah, she's a douchebag, but it wasn't anything to like. She wasn't, it wasn't anything over crazy.
Guys, it's not like she's on Epstein Island or
right
or P. Diddle's barge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which shout out to Baltimore. They're going through some shit right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was P. Diddle trying to get away.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I'm interested to see how this game ends up, and how it shakes out. I do have Iowa winning because I just want to see Caitlin Clark get a ring. For that, I wouldn't mind seeing Haley Van Lith get a ring with LSU, even though she left my Louisville Cardinals, and I think she's kind of ring chasing. But hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. With how it's working right now with the transfer portal and everything. So
Well, and also hating the game. I mean, like we talked about, NC State topping Stanford 77-67 and getting in. And then also topping Texas, like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Scoring 76. So they're doing worse. They're trending down. They're only going to score 75 in the next game. That's what I'm going to call. Right? You go 79, 77, 76. Or sorry, 76. Something's wrong in Denmark. But no, on the other side, though, we got USC and UConn coming up soon. UConn topped. The crossing out really throws me off. They topped Duke 53-45, while USC topped Baylor. Big 12, shout out. Too bad girls you couldn't do it. With Bear Claw, whatever the hell it is, 74-70.
Rawr.
Yeah. No, that's what they do. They do that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're from Baylor. I got a couple friends, their sons are going there, so I like making fun of them for it. Because Oklahoma walked in and whooped that ass. But yeah, then Iowa and LSU playing right now. LSU topping UCLA previously in the Sweet 16, 78-69, and then Iowa topping Colorado. Soon to be Big 12 team, 89-68.
Yep. And score update at the end of the third quarter, Caitlin Clark already has 31 points, and Iowa's up 69-58. So surprising. I figured it'd be, and it's going to come down to the wire. I don't think Iowa's going to be able to hold out. I think Kim Mulkey is much of a person. Much I don't like her as a person. She is a good coach. So I think she'll make the adjustments.
So in my head canon right now, like they're showing a little bit of the replays of her 3-pointers and her distance.
Yeah. It don't matter where the line is.
Exactly. That's what I'm like in my head.
Not with her.
They're saying she could play in Portland. For those that just joined us, they fucked up big time.
As they say,
actually on one half of the court, which is the left side, had the right measurements for the women's tournament. On the right side is the measurements for the men's tournament. So, yeah, I mean, I think hopefully the stats will show equality, and hey, maybe go just with one standard measurement for all basketball,
and have the same basketball size.
I like playing with the women's. Just saying, these hands.
I know. You can't even palm a volleyball. Shut up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I can barely palm a tennis ball. What are you talking about? No. But yeah, man, anything else on the actual games themselves? I know we got a couple more going here soon, so we can't really talk about the ending there. No. We also we got to get to a few things. So I know you have some of your March Madness ranks by category. We also got the Final Four starters. And some other links. So we want to jump back and go to the men's because we also haven't even talked about the standings. I mean, I don't care if we don't talk about them.
As long as you don't care, that's fine with me.
But I feel like the people out there, they need to know.
Yeah, the people need to know.
they need to know who's winning here.
Spoiler alert, I'm not winning another tournament because I keep getting screwed with.
Getting screwed with what? Screws? But yeah, kind of jumping back to the men. So March Madness second week by category,
Yep.
right? So you want to kind of talk about this?
Yeah. So basically, these are as far as the Sweet 16 Elite 8 games. This is kind of how. Shout out to College Basketball Report, who kind of made this for us. So obviously the best team, the best defense, the best coach. Hey, guess what? It's UConn. The best offense is Alabama. That's kind of what they do. They shoot a lot of threes and stuff like that. I don't know if there's overlay there. Let me bring that back over. Okay, just do this. Hold on for a second. All right, do this. And then remove that. All right, here we go. So let me go back to that one. There we go. So
what are you doing?
Well, when you went away, you put the overlay on and it took away the thing.
It's just the overlay. Like you didn't even talk about all of these.
No, you clicked this. That's why. And then it went.
My bad. Okay.
So
I should. I meant to do the background. My bad.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Click on the thing.
Sorry, guys. Priorities.
Right. All right. Let me do this again. Here we go. All right. I found it. All right. Live production. It's great.
Yeah.
So the worst team was San Diego State, obviously, because they got beat by 30, which you could say about Illinois, but Illinois made it to the Elite 8. The upset, obviously, NC State fan favorite DJ Burns for obvious reasons. MVP Zach Edey. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I like Edey.
Yeah, Edey. The best conference.
Mighty
Mo. Yeah. And then best conference ACC. They said they weren't supposed to have many. They said they sucked this year, and they were really good. They had like 25% of the Sweet 16 was ACC.
God, suck a dick, Kate. Sorry,
she's good.
So good.
Yeah. So okay, I want to highlight this. Houston, pain, because this is what this tournament does to me. I thought that if UConn wasn't going to win, it's going to be Houston, and then they just get hurt, and I don't know what to do. And then bust Marquette, same thing. Chaka Smart, first time since 2012. You made a sweet 2012. You made a Sweet 16. So there you go. Let down Arizona, same thing. Best game, yes. North Carolina, Alabama. That thing went back and forth. Starting five, obviously UConn. Breakout. I forgot the guy's name, but he was nuts in that North Carolina game.
But he's got a sweet stash.
Sweet stash. Hey, North Carolina. Hey, Jason. That is your nemesis. That is the face of God to you. Okay. That. So Grant Nelson. Thank you.
That is the stash.
That is the stash of champions, not North Carolina, Alabama.
No, that's a great stash, bro. That needs to be fucking mounted.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark, another 3, so good.
Dude, I know, right?
So good.
And what really sucks is that was like 5 minutes ago that she said that, and then she hit another one.
Yeah, she's
and another one.
Yeah, she's like the number one in scorer of all time in college basketball, men's and women's, for a reason. So
yeah, I know, but God damn it, come on, LSU.
Yeah, I think she at the end of the day,
all your wedding cake. God, get it. All right.
Anyway,
okay. What's next? Sorry.
All right.
Here we go. Final Four. Bam.
Yeah. Here is the rankings for the Final Four according to College Basketball Report. I'm surprised that DJ Burns is that far down the list, but his conditioning is questionable. But dude's awesome. Mark Sears, yes. I would have put Mark Sears probably at number 2, just because he means that much to Alabama and he can take over a game. But I mean, literally, it's crazy how Donovan Clingan, Cam Spencer is ridiculously good, but DJ Horn, DJ Burns, yes, they're the ones that keep the thing rolling. But this is basically Zach Edey is 1A to as far as I can't wait for Zach Edey and DJ Burns to go against each other. That's going to be hilarious. So big there. But what was it? I forgot what they called the other one, but they go like, oh, they called him like Foul Ming. I thought that was kind of funny. Because he draws so many
Leave
fouls.
Yao alone. What did he do to you?
Well, Zach Edey is part Asian, so
yeah, no, yeah, because they're all the same. Way to be,
right.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
no,
do love the wordplay. That's great.
But yeah, I'm just glad that they kind of highlight in this list.
I mean,
like
they could have gone with Foul Gasol. That's a pretty good one, actually. Right off the top of the head. Let's go.
Yeah. And I forget what they call DJ Burns, but it's basically like, what was it? Shout out to Big E, Jeremy and Giff will understand this. Is basically DJ Burns and Zach Edey going against the judges. Big meaty men slapping meat. That's what it's gonna be. So some people were saying that. So on there, but that's what I got with that one, and then a couple other things.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight. This is
good.
Basically all the 11 seeds to make the Final Four. Shout out Sister Jean. We had NC State this year, UCLA in 2021, Loyola Chicago 2018, VCU in 2011. That's a shocker year. George Mason 2006, and LSU in 1986. So pretty recently, 11 seeds have made it. I mean, it's not like every year, but that's pretty short distance. I mean, from 2018 to 2021 to 2024, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Well,
every 3 years, basically.
Right. You start with 86, and then you've got 20-year difference right there.
Right.
And then you have a 5-year, then you have a 7-year, then you have a 3, then you have 3. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, kind of mentioned at the top of the show. I mean, it's definitely not rare anymore for the 11th seed. It's becoming more common and frequent. And honestly, I mean, with the NIL, we'll see if that kind of levels out some of that playing field. Because you're starting to see a lot of people like our girl used to play for Louisville, Haley Van Lith, going out there. And no, I'm not talking like Mike Tyson. No, I don't have a lift.
The lift is no, that don't work. Here's basically
it's getting lift in here.
This is how crazy NC State's run has been. Every game is elimination game. Every one of these games was an elimination game for them. Yeah. For that, and then this
that's a hell of a hit list. Go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, good God. Yeah.
Now Louisville is not Louisville this year by far. They won 8 games, but still, as far as names.
Hold on, I got a knock on my door.
Yep, you're good. So with that, and then I do want to share this. NC State. This was an 84% free throw shooter, but that basically was they're up 3 second half. It was 84% free throw shooter, and if he hits this, NC State's not in the Final Four. This is an ACC tournament, and then this is what happens.
And he missed it. 4 seconds. O'Connell gets it off. Oh!
Yeah.
Michael O'Connell.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's just nuts. I'll play it again, but basically this is he missed it. 4 seconds. Rainbow banks it in.
Nuts, dude. Toilet bowl.
Overtime.
Yes,
and that's why we love. That's why that's why March is awesome when it comes to these things.
Yeah, because as much as it busts our brackets, like to me, I love seeing it for the kids, man. I mean, because I miss playing basketball, back in middle school. I miss going to the high school games, and even at Park University, going to some of the games too, because that energy is electric. And it's just wild. It's wild. And, of course, now we got a lot of sports betting. So people got parlays. They've got, a lot of the individual kind of betting that I guess some people are complaining about.
Yep. They're bringing NCAA has to stick their nose and stuff. But I kind of understand the argument's actually like a legit one is because they're trying. If they can't, obviously, number one, if the NCAA can't make money off of you in the most cheapest way to you not make money, then they're going to try and take advantage of that. Okay. So number one, that's kind of, okay. And number two, the argument that makes kind of sense and why it might hold a little bit of water in court is because it's about player props. So, hey, you've got this person making this many threes, this person making this many points or something like that. So it's a player achieving a certain goal based on what Vegas does. This happens all the time in professional sports. The difference is you have professional athletes, not in women's game, but professional athletes, at least in the men's side of it, that make millions of dollars, and they have quotas they have to hit to make more money. So obviously they're going to go out there and try to perform anyway. Whereas you just have NIL deals. So you run the risk of a player prop affecting the game in the NCAA time because you don't have those incentives that a player has to achieve anyway. So there's not as much Vegas. There's still going to be Vegas influence. I don't care what it is, but at least you will refrain from much more Vegas influence in the NFL, in the professional level, than you would in the men's level. So I understand that argument, but at the end of the day, when it's the NCAA wanting to stop it, you're like, all right, what do you mean by that? Because we all know what you really want at the end of the day.
I mean, it's modern day Babylon, baby. You know, so yeah, Vegas is going to affect everything that it can touch, and just the sporting odds. But also at the same time, it's ironic how sometimes the Vegas odds are pretty accurate.
I mean, the NFL scripted, right? That's why Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are off on a honeymoon.
Dude, if the NFL is scripted, I love reading that book.
Yeah, it's your never-ending story that you hope never ends.
Yeah. Whoa, is that this song?
That sounds like it's never-ending story.
Never-ending story, right? But yeah, no, man. I do have a friend here to help me move some furniture and kind of hang some things up. So. Let's go ahead and just jump to the standings, right? Yeah. I mean, this is gonna be a quick conversation. I win, you all suck. There we go. That's all we got. No, I am in the lead. I do have the max point potential, but that honestly doesn't mean anything. Especially now that we're in the Final Four, the point total is increased quite a bit. I believe it's 12 points for these next rounds. But anyways, you got myself with 122. You got Jeremy Miller with 110. Josh, you're at 108, bud. You still got a fighter's chance.
That's my dad. I can't take credit for that.
That's your dad?
Yeah.
That's your dad's bracket? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got Jason with 108. You again at 106. Giff, who apparently I just doubled up his bracket.
I need UConn to win it now so I can beat Jason at least.
Giff, you're in the chat, right? Right, you son of a bitch. Tell me this, man. But I mean, yeah. First of all, thank you. It's not Callaway; it's Callaway. No, it's actually Callaway. But
it's good golf.
But no, like, how do you have the exact same point total, the exact same max, everything across the board, same numbers? Like, do you have the exact same bracket, and why? You know, that's not how it works. And then Soul rounding out the bottom of the group with 90 and 88. But I know she definitely went with her heart on a lot of those picks. Which honestly, you got to do sometimes. I knew my Sooners were not going to do anything at all, so that's why I didn't do much. But then jumping over to the women's, it's just a shorter list. We just got one bracket in for the most part. Gift was too much of a coward to show his face or his bracket. And then Jason, yeah. By the way, if you're watching this in the future, bud, just screenshot your bracket and send it to us. We'll still count up the points.
Yep.
And count it. Because I know there was a little bit of confusion as far as which group to sign in for.
You're going to be in last. Don't ask questions.
Yeah. But who was not in last is myself with 154 points, having the highest point total as far as max point total, 218. Jeremy Miller, second place, man. Jeremy's like right there each time, 132. Soul, no one heard women, which I hope she would. 132 points as well. And then Josh, rounding out the bottom of the bracket again.
Caitlin Clark. Come on, Caitlin. Come on, Caitlin.
I mean, you're not wrong, though, because, the point totals are increasing for the Final Four. It's going to be the highest. I think it's 24 points for the championship team. That could be the world of difference. So
go back to the men real quick. Go back to the men's standing. So basically the max, Giff will beat me out as far as the Houston bracket is concerned, as long as UConn wins it, and so will So's second bracket. But the main thing is that even if UConn wins it all in my Houston bracket, I will still have more points than Jason. So I just need UConn to beat Alabama, and I will tell him to suck it. That's all that matters.
Yes.
I am just trying to find a win out of this.
I love it. I love the pettiness, man. Because that's where I was all of last year for the most part. Did I win? Did I win the NFL bracket?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Am I undefeated this year?
What are you trying to say?
Am I undefeated this year, bro? Come on, y'all.
I'm not trying on your parade, but what is Soul trying to say?
Josh is that's when it comes to women. Oh,
wait, I feel like that has a secret. That has a deeper meaning.
Oh my gosh!
Just because I'm single with no kids, don't mean you got to hit me like that.
Oh man, I mean, hey, I'm single with 2 kids too, so I guess I'm just right above you in last place. But no, score update. God dang it, they're still 10 points down. 82-72, 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I hate to say it, but I think Iowa's got this. I mean, they've got all the steam, they've got the momentum. I mean, you got 3 miracle, 3-pointers that could happen, back to back, and then be right there. But at the same time, you've got to stop the other people, man. You got to stop the other team, and shift that momentum. And I just really don't see that happening. But anyways, yeah. So anything to wrap this up, bud? What else you got? Who are you excited for next week? I know you're excited for tonight because Iowa's probably going to win this game, but what else are you looking forward to, man?
I'm also looking forward to I'm looking for the big meaty man bump of meat as far as Zach Edey versus DJ Burns. I think, in USC and Iowa. Now, is that South Carolina or is that Southern Cal? Because they're both alive. So which USC are you talking about?
It's USC because he said because it's might. So it's Southern California who's playing tonight after this.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, I've seen a lot of people like where there was a South Carolina fan, there was a USC fan. They're like the real USC, and I'm like, dude, no one calls South Carolina USC, so shut up, go away.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, come on, who cares?
It's like we're the Iowa State. Like nobody, that wasn't a thing. Shut up.
No, you're a cyclone. What? Are you in Tornado Valley? Is that why? Or Tornado Alley? Is that why they're the Cyclones?
Yeah,
I would think. All right.
Tornado warnings up in Oklahoma City right now, actually. So
there you go.
We're in it, bro.
Freaking Iowa. Cool thing about Iowa is you get off your front porch and walk 3 years later, you still see them walking. All right, that's my Iowa joke for the day.
I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, my thing that I'm really looking forward to is obviously the Purdue NC State game. I think Purdue is the better team. I think at the end of the day, Zach Edey and them, they just have a better team. But hey, NC State's been there, and plus both of these Final Four game spreads are double digits, which makes sense for UConn. But that's crazy that both men spreads are over 10 points, which is nuts. Oh, Reese just fouled out.
Yeah, I know. Jeremy, Oklahoma, I think should be Cyclones. I agree. And then, she fouled out. She's a bird. She's flying away.
Yeah.
But yes, I love how both of them are correcting themselves. I do want to show on screen them correcting themselves because
this channel we don't spell check. We don't spell check. We can read between the lines.
We don't word well here.
We don't word well. I speak good. I'm from Kentucky. I lived in Kentucky and Tennessee my whole life. You think I speak good?
Right. But yeah, anything else, bud, before we sign off?
No, that's it. Other than just thank you, thank everyone for joining us. We're keep with us, guys. It's a fun time. I flubbed that. I was trying to promote other stuff, and my brain just shut off.
And you said, just keep with us.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. My brain shut off.
Yeah. Well, for Josh, I'm Tvshka. We appreciate you guys. This is Ruckus, entertainment and variety, specifically bracket bitches, right? Yeah. So keep following us. Next week, we do have the finals. So Sunday night is the women's championship. Mm-hmm. Hopefully Caitlin Clark is not there and ruins it for my Gamecocks as far as the real USC. But Monday night though, we do have Soul in town. Mm-hmm. That's right. Soul's going to be in the building as well as our boy Preston, Bryant Brawler, and also Cheryl. Yeah. So So we're gonna have a party. We may or may not go live. We got to figure that out yet because I do have a couple of gigs the day before. I had to work that day, so I don't know how live I'm gonna be. But we will definitely try to be live for the championship, maybe at least the result, and get up there and kind of wrap it up. But then after that, we're gonna be shifting. We got more, soccer tournaments coming up. We've got the NBA. I think even after that, they got NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we got the freaking UFL, man. I mean, that was a great opening weekend that they had just now. And we're going to be going right into football season as well. So stick around with us for this show. But then we also got some other great shows. We got the Game Dudes, right? Every Wednesday night. You got Ruckus Wrestling every Thursday night. And I believe they're looking to maybe schedule for this Friday for bracket or random bracket battles with AA Ron. So definitely don't miss out on all the other shows we got coming up. And you can follow us at everywhere, Ruckus EV. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. We're about to expand the brand a little bit, so stay tuned. I know, dude, right? You're gonna be able to see all my nasty pores in full 1080 instead of 720. But yeah, Ruckus EV everywhere. Follow us, like, subscribe. If you do want to even join the Ruckus, just jump in the Discord below. The link is in the description. There's no charge. We just want to, really build the community a little bit more. So if you have a show or an idea that you actually want to do, jump on board. We're happy to help out, create some of the the logos and the stream elements for you, and really train you on all that stuff. And so for a part of that, you can join patreon.com/RuckusEV. And then if you just want to donate and really help out, because we do have some equipment that we do need to upgrade as well. Go to streamlabs.com/RuckusEV/tips. And that is the spiel. Hopefully soon, man, we'll have a video where we don't have to exhaust ourselves for it. But
stick with us.
Yeah, stick with us.
I've nailed it for like 20 times in a row, and then my brain just decided to screw up.
Dude, we've got to clip that out for sure.
Yeah.
Here we go. Love hearing the band, especially when they play the songs I played when I was in the pep band.
Yeah.
I thought you were my band, but okay, cool. We're talking about the college band. Nice.
And adventure. She knows.
Wow. But that's it, though. For Josh, I'm Tvshka. We out, baby. Yeah, I'm not even going to hit the down. I'm just going to end it.
It's just fine. It's fine.